I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back to another show, everybody.
That's right. We're here. This is going to be episode 12?
12?
Episode 12?
Yeah, 12, yeah.
So it's going to make us, what, 3 months?
3 months old?
We are also now well on our way to 400 downloads.
Yay.
I think by the time you're listening to this, everyone, we should be crawling really close to that 400 mark.
Yeah, we should be right there, right?
Yeah, we're definitely somewhere between 350 and 400 right now. So we're doing pretty good.
Come on, guys, you can do it.
I'll go ahead on that note and tell you where all you can find us.
Yep.
You can find us on Facebook if you want to support us there. It's going to be facebook.com/Kentucky Fried Critics. That one's really good. It's a nice URL. Clean.
Nice. Simple.
Instagram, our handle is going to be Kentucky Fried Critics. All one word. Again, nice, simple, clean.
Elegant? Can we throw that one in there?
Sure.
Yeah.
We can say elegant.
Classy.
YouTube, on the other hand, that's when we
It all falls apart here.
YouTube, we fumble a little bit. We're still waiting. I think December is when they start finally closing down accounts that haven't been used.
That haven't been doing anything.
So, again, we're not trying to harass any kind of people that support about this.
But
it's not that big of a deal. But come December, when
they
should be closing them down, I will be checking constantly to see if it gets closed down.
It's ours.
Other than that, we're going to go to, if you want to find out our website, which our website just has all these links. Plus, I think it links to our social media. I hope that's okay. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
No, that's fine.
So, so if you get weird requests, it might be a fan.
Usually I just get bots, so it's fine.
Well, now you don't know. Now it'll be a gamble.
Tell me if you were from the show.
The website's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics.
Hyphens.
That's where the hyphens are.
Warm, tingly feeling now.
That's right. Now, that one may not be clean, but Bo loves the hyphens.
I love the hyphens,
so, again, we could possibly, if it turns out that YouTube does not shut down the account that's just straight Kentucky Fried Critics there, we will probably be taking the hyphenated one.
Yay.
Now, again, that just to make sure everybody knows, that's going to be the handle at YouTube. If you just type in Kentucky Fried Critics, you're still going to find us. We're still the top search because we are active.
As long as you spell critics. If you just put C, we're right under chicken.
Yeah, well, I mean, KFC is KFC.
Yeah, I know.
We are not the most popular KFC. We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. We're a low number 2.
We want to replace them as who you think of when you think
that's right.
KFC.
Fuck those guys.
All right, guys. The last thing we're going to cover for you is just going to be podcast platforms. You can find us on most of them.
Weird ones even, like ones from France.
Yeah, I don't know. Deezer, I think is the name. I think that's the name of the weird French, Belgium something.
Oh, bonjour.
So you can find us on Amazon, Spotify,
Google Podcasts.
While it still exists.
While it's still there.
iHeartRadio.
T-shirt. I'm going to do it every episode. I want a t-shirt until somebody gets me an iHeartRadio t-shirt.
I really need to send an email out to them.
Yeah,
just be like, can you guys explain to us exactly how we're listed?
Yeah.
How do people find us there? And then try to be like,
and how do I
nudge, wink, wink.
How do I get a fucking t-shirt? Come on. I would keep it so clean, pressed, got the little creases from where I'm like lovingly ironing my iHeartRadio shirt.
All right, Bo.
We got a little off topic.
What are we drinking on today, man?
Well, we're drinking Heineken Dutch Pale Lager.
Dutch. That's what we're watching.
That's the movie?
Dutch.
So it's not just the people who wear the wooden shoes.
No.
Make the cool patterns with the flowers. I've seen the pictures. They got like all the different colors.
I mean, those are Dutch people, and they did make this beer.
Yes. But it is awesome.
We watched
Dutch.
The 1991 comedy classic with Ed O'Neill.
I love Ed O'Neill. Al Bundy.
Al Bundy himself.
Right?
Trying his best to not be Al Bundy. Definitely being told by the director
to be Al Bundy a few times.
Yeah. To dial up the Al Bundy. Again, for
anybody just called him Al on set by mistake.
I'm sure.
That far along in the show.
In 91, it was like 4 years in. I'm sure somebody did. I'm sure someone working on that set.
Hey, Al.
Yeah. So again, this is a 91 comedy Thanksgiving classic.
Holiday movie?
Yeah. It's definitely about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He's going to pick a kid up for Thanksgiving break from school and have a road trip.
Nice road. It's a road trip movie too, so we get a holiday and a road trip.
Yeah, it is a road trip movie. Now that being said, this was not an actual
hit.
Well, yeah, it was and it was not a Thanksgiving movie either.
Oh yeah.
It released in July, which might have contributed to why
That's super
it didn't
weird.
do so well.
Yeah, why would you do that?
It was not a commercial success, though.
No, I would imagine in the summer, why would anybody go watch a Thanksgiving movie?
Yeah, full of snow
and snow and shit.
Yeah, because they're driving from Georgia to Chicago, so they definitely hit some states with snow in it.
Oh, by the time they're in Tennessee and it's snowing.
Yeah. And so it was a choice.
Yeah.
It was a weird choice to release it then. Like I said, I definitely remember seeing it in theaters, so I definitely know at least one person, my dad, who thought, I'll watch this movie in July.
I mean, well, your dad was good about that shit. I was like, we're just gonna go to the movies. Come on, let's go.
This was definitely a true like family classic to me, but apparently it was not a family classic to most people. I know you never seen it, right? Never. This was the first time we talked about it a couple months ago. Sans podcast, nothing to do with this. Like we were just talking about
ideas and shit.
I don't even know what it was ideas. We might have just been talking about holiday movies outside of
something
the podcast. But I was just like, in the movie Dutch, and you were like, don't know.
Nope, don't know what that is.
And it was shocking to me.
Blank expression.
Glossed over eyes. Blink, 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 blink. I was taken aback, and I immediately had to find a trailer to show you.
Yeah, and I still was like, no, never heard of, seen any of this. Looked funny though.
And it is.
It is. It's a funny movie.
It's a great movie.
Funny, heartwarming.
It's a John Hughes film.
Right? I was super surprised when I saw that. Written and produced and all kinds of stuff.
Not directed, but yeah, it's written by John Hughes.
The great John Hughes.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Weird Science. I mean, we could go. We're not even going to cover all.
I love Weird Science.
We could go on and on.
That's a whole podcast. Just what's your favorite John Hughes movie?
Yeah. Well, again, we could maybe circle back to this somehow once once we move past doing just a movie. Once we start broadening and including more subjects.
Find a drink just called Hughes.
Something to do with John.
John. There we go.
Before we go any further, I definitely want to cover a couple of the other people in the movie. It's not got a huge cast.
No.
Because again, like we already said, it is a road trip movie. So I would say 75% of the movie is mainly Ed O'Neill and Ethan Embry, who plays the kid Doyle. For anybody who doesn't know the name but might know some of the movies, if you were a teenager in the 90s, I'm not going to say if you were a kid in the 90s. If you were a teenager at some point in the 90s, he was in some movies that you definitely probably know. He was Mark in Empire Records.
I need to see that one.
You do. It's a great movie. Yeah. We're not even going to get started because I definitely am going to find a way to work that one into an episode. He is also the main character in the movie Can't Hardly Wait.
Now that one I have seen.
Yeah, Seth Green, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Mandy on his head.
Right?
Yeah, Mandy.
He loves the song Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Lots of people, like that. That's one, like I said, these are two movies that he is definitely a part of that if you were a teenager in the 90s,
you'll know this guy.
You'll probably know this guy.
But he's a lot younger.
And you might not have realized, I did not realize this until literally a couple months ago when we talked about this the first time, that he was the kid in Dutch, that he was Doyle. He was in the cast under a different name. Oh. He was Ethan Randall for this, not Ethan Embry. That's a stupid
name.
Yeah, so he was in those things. He was also in a very short-lived but cult-followed TV show called FreakyLinks.com, and I know you laughed at me so hard when I told you that. But
it sounds like a porn website.
So it was like... and I might have the name wrong. I totally didn't look this up to double check. But again, like with a weird name like that, I'm pretty sure I got it right. If I got it wrong, definitely you guys have full right to
mock the shit out of him.
Just go after me.
Boo this man.
But it was a TV show that was essentially like the X-Files for like teenager, college kid age crowd. You know what I mean? Like 15 to 24 or something like that. But it was like, like they ran a website instead of worked for the FBI, but they still investigated paranormal events.
Oh, that sounds good.
It was short-lived. It was Fox. It definitely. Tell me. You hear that and tell me you couldn't tell that was a Fox TV show. It's got the kind of premise that they would have totally backed,
and then not done a good job promoting it.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds like them.
Other than those two, though, we don't really see that many people. The only other person I want to mention is Christopher McDonald, who plays Doyle's dad. Shooter McGavin himself.
Yes.
And again, he is playing that character. It is the same character.
He just has a mustache now.
Yeah, it's Shooter McGavin. It's young Shooter McGavin with a mustache. Same guy, same douchiness.
Yeah, this
is
before he got beat by Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. This is like, this was peak his career. This is before he retired and was the lonely dude at the club.
Yeah, doing fucking golf tournaments and shit.
Other than that, you don't see too many people. There is one other person that is of importance that shows up.
Tommy Pickles, the hooker.
Yeah, Elizabeth Daly, E.G. Daly. She is she was Pee Wee Herman's best friend Dottie. She was
Wolf Dottie.
Yeah, she is the voice of Tommy Pickles.
Yeah.
One of the Powerpuff Girls. I don't know which one. But she's one of them. She is the voice of 1,000
different things.
She has a small bit role in this movie. She's in it for less than 5 minutes, and 100% she is just on the screen to be a 2-bit hooker.
Yep.
But it is worth note to point out that she is here because she is true royalty. I mean, she is. If you grew up in the 90s, any of the time frame,
any of the 90s.
You know her from something.
You've heard her voice
somewhere. You go right now and look it up on IMDb and you will find things that you know her from. 100%. From there, I think we're ready just to jump into the movie.
Oh, yeah. We haven't actually started the movie.
Yeah, dude.
Yet.
I mean, we've just been... That's why I was like, we just want to cover who that is real quick. Yeah, no, I think we're ready to cover.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's actually start covering the movie now. Yeah, so we have... It's my favorite part. The music intro. The music intro to this, though, is not telling... like, sometimes we're getting a song that's like the story of the movie.
Yeah.
This is just for the scene.
This is just jazz.
It's just to let us know that they are at that the movie is starting off in a swank party. Yeah. That's all it's for.
It's crap.
I don't enjoy it.
I hate jazz.
Well, I don't even care that it's jazz. I just don't care for like that being the only. I like a movie where we're getting a true song and somehow setting up like the vibe and the feel. Yeah, like I want it to set up what we're going for.
Get me hyped.
This is definitely just the scene. It is just the background music for the scene.
I just wrote.
I don't prefer this.
I just wrote jazz in my notes.
We're cutting into a party.
Big fancy party.
All
the nice dressed people.
The rich folk. We don't even gotta pretend. They are rich folk. We immediately cut to pretentious women talking to Doyle's mom, Natalie.
Yeah. And she ain't from this life.
No, she is.
And they're trying their best to be their version of polite, I guess.
There's one new woman in the group.
Yeah.
And they're trying to dance around the fact that she is divorced from the actual rich person.
Right.
She was like, well, can I tell her that? Is that okay? And she was like, oh, you want to tell her that... that he knocked me up when I worked here, then
married me to avoid a scandal,
then divorced me
when he got tired of me, sucked away 10 years of my life, and then screwed me over in court. Yeah, sure, go ahead, it's fine.
But you know the level of uncare she has towards all of this. She didn't even
try to tap dance around any of that. She was just like, no, you want to talk about how he's a piece of shit? Go for it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's beautiful. She then tells the women like, oh, and I'm here with my
boyfriend,
my new boyfriend. At this point, we see our man Dutch.
Yeah.
And we find out that that's why this movie is Dutch. If you've not seen it, you don't know. Dutch is his name.
Sounds like a cowboy movie.
Yeah, Dutch Dooley.
Dutch Dooley. That even sounds even more. That's like a 50s cowboy movie.
It was a choice. Yeah. For sure. It was a choice.
His name starts with D's.
Yeah, Dutch Doyle.
Yeah, Dutch Doyle.
Yeah.
There's a Dylan later, I think.
No.
Oh, no, he just calls him Dylan.
He calls him like 5 different names, dude. He calls him Darren. Yeah. He's constantly using the wrong name. On purpose. I mean, he's totally just trying to bag on the kid. But so, he's outside the party, right?
Yeah, he's outside smoking a cigar. Very polite of him. Don't want to
I guess they're trying to imply to us something with the suit that he's got on, but I wasn't.
Corduroy's not.
I don't know what high fashion in '91 was because I was a young child, and to me, high fashion was purple shorts with sharks on them. So you can't tell me that he looked bad then or now.
Anything with Power Rangers on it. That was the height of fashion.
They were trying to tell us that he
low class, middle class, something like that. I don't know. They're doing something.
To me, I was like, he's outside a swank party smoking a cigar.
He looks badass.
Fancy, right?
Yeah, he's got his little cup. He's smoking his cigar, having a good time, and some server lady comes through, and she's just like, "Oh, this door's locked."
And then he immediately gets attacked by a dog.
Yeah, because he's trying to go around the other side.
Now, I don't know about you, but this dog looked so mangy that I was like, there's no way this dog belongs to whoever owns this house or this country club or whatever place we're at. This dog doesn't belong there.
No, it doesn't. It looked dirty.
Yeah, I was like, this is what? I don't buy this.
I'm sure the dog just kind of rolled in a puddle right before they started shooting, but
they should have taken the time.
It had like a bow in its hair.
They should have taken the time to clean it up.
It looks gross.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But these two dudes let him back in. They're sitting there and the caviar comes around. He grabs one. He flicks the caviar off into an ashtray and he's just like, I don't eat anything that a fish deposits on a riverbed. And they're all just kind of look at him like, okay, well, cool. Nice to meet you. And I'm like, what? That's sound fucking advice.
Yeah. Let's get back to where we need to be.
Shooter comes up and meets Dutch, right? And he's a dick.
We see
his name's Reed.
Reed.
Started to write Shooter in my notes. Scrape it out.
If you hear us accidentally say Shooter, just know that we are indeed talking about Doyle's dad, Reed. Christopher McDonald.
Yes.
But we will try our best to not. He's not in very much of the movie, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
No, he's like all told he's in there for like 3 minutes.
Yeah. About what you expect from the kind of character they set him up to be right now. He is 100% a rich pretentious dickhead. Ass. You can tell he's the kind of guy who doesn't care about his son. 2 seconds into him talking. You don't even need the rest of that conversation that we're about to get to let us know that.
The first thing he says when he walks up is just like, I have to go to London for something and you're going to talk to Doyle. And
right.
You can tell him. And she's like, I am done doing your dirty work. Yeah. I always end up looking like the bad guy.
And he tells Dutch that he needs to step away.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is a personal matter. Yeah. You need to go away. And he doesn't.
Well, he walks 2 steps.
He takes like a step back.
He's definitely close enough he can still hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have their argument about how he's not going to get Doyle. And then he tries to just, he like tells her off. He's like, you're lucky you get what you get.
Yeah, I gave you a house and money and...
I don't have to give you any of that. And I'm just like, God, man, what a different time, because now that's not how it would work.
No, it's not all how that would work.
Like if they were divorced, unless she signed a prenup, she would have gotten...
She would have gotten that big
house. It wouldn't have been...
They were standing in.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like because I let you have it. No. It would have been because the court already gave it to her. Yeah.
You can't take it from me, motherfucker.
What a different time, though. Like, I heard that conversation. You're just like, man, now you know why why it got changed that way. Because it's just like, geez, she didn't deserve that.
Too many of these rich assholes just fucking people over.
Yeah, well, and again, like... not taking care of the kid that he, as we already got told, knocked her up with, and then
when she was a barmaid,
just didn't want the scandal,
right?
But yeah, so he immediately, after berating her in front of everybody, tries to walk off.
Yeah, Dutch goes up to him. Dutch, this is first instance of Dutch stand-up dude.
Blue collar
American
like,
hero.
He stops
like,
him.
No,
yeah, he is 100% our blue collar hero. Like if you love a true like working man with working man values,
Dusty Rhodes, the American dream, baby, son of a plumber man.
Then you're gonna love everything Dutch does.
Yes.
But yeah, so Dutch stops him, and Dutch just, I love this.
Right.
And this is truly horrific because he doesn't threaten the dog.
No.
But it's like on the verge, right? He tells him, if you mess with her again, I'm going to hit you so hard, your dog's going to bleed. Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Man, the imagery.
With a smile, too.
Oh, with a smile, and like,
real quiet, that just leans in.
He leans away from him, pats him, pretends with everybody, like, we're just friends.
We're all buddies.
And you see the face Reed's face says it all. He is definitely not used to dealing with someone who is direct, talking to him like that, and someone who definitely would do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell those are things...
completely taken aback. Like, I don't know how to deal with this situation now.
Yeah. From here, we're gonna go to the boarding school. We're finally gonna meet Doyle.
Yeah.
Our kid.
Yeah.
Our other protagonist, our other main character in the movie. We get to see him. He's very anal. He's cleaning his computer with like the crazy dust thing.
Right.
Yeah.
The little chamois cloth.
We see
in between the keys.
We see the payphone ringing downstairs, and another kid answers. And the kid who answers is like, how can I help you? and it's Doyle's mom wanting to talk to him.
The look on his face is just like
lets you know everything you need to know about how all of the other kids here feel about him. Like he was just like, I don't even want to go. Like again, like he knows it's got to be the mom. Like again, like it's someone that age calling this. It's the mom. Yeah. He knows it's this kid's mom. He still was like, I don't even want to have to go talk to this kid to tell him that his mom is on the phone. That's rough, dude.
Yeah,
that's rough.
How you get people to hate you that damn much?
I don't know. As soon as we go back into the room, we see why people hate him. Like instantly.
All the kid did was say, "Hey, your mom is on the phone." And he whips around like Lord of the fucking Manor, like
and hits him with. Well, he hits him with like 3 things immediately. It's not even just like I know the one you. I'm sorry. I know the one that you want to jump to. I know the one you want to jump to.
The one that would have got him fucking popped.
But he doesn't even start with that one. He immediately hits him with. Yeah. Did you open my door?
Right. Do you know how to knock?
Because any civilized person would knock before entering someone's domicile.
He's just like, well, it was open. He's like, no, it was unlocked. It was not open. Yeah. Do you know how to knock? And I'm over here. I'm like, man, this fucking kid.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, Jesus. And then it just gets worse, though.
Right?
Because then as soon as the kid is just like, well, whatever. Like I said, your mom's on the phone. Do you want to talk to her or not? And then he hits him with I do not have a ma.
I have a mother. And I was just like, I went across the room at this kid.
Oh my jeez.
I mean, I don't blame the kid at the door. He was like a full head shorter than Doyle, but still, I'd have went after him. I'd have tried my damnedest.
So yeah, they walk out in the hallway and they're still going at it. Like again, just giving you a real idea of
how much of a
how pretentious this kid is, because he then starts making fun of the kid that came to tell him about the phone call. He didn't have to do that. No. He could have answered that phone, told the lady he was going to get Doyle, and just walked right back out the door.
Right.
But he didn't. No. He went upstairs to get this kid he did not like and tell him. And what's Doyle do to repay him? Lambasts him about using the word ma, and then starts to go at him because his dad works at the school. He's like, yeah, you're only here
because your dad's an employee. And the kid shoots back and he's like, at least I got a fucking dad.
Right? Again, letting us know that literally everybody at the school hates this kid and knows enough of his personal life to know that like he's not just at this private school. He's one of the like throwaway kids at the private school. He's literally only here because the parents don't want to deal with him.
Yep, one of those rich kids like daddy and mommy.
Which isn't even true because his mom wants him.
Apparently not, from what his dad tells him. Yeah, it's all coming from the dad on all this hate. Totally coming from the dad. But he goes downstairs and answers the phone, and his mom's like, your dad's not coming to get you. You're going to come over here for Thanksgiving. He's like, no, I'm not. You blah, 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 and all this other bullshit.
Yeah, she's like, I got a ticket for you. He's like,
no, I'm not doing it.
I'm not going to go.
And he gets all pissy and he yells it at her.
Dude, he is rude as shit to his mom.
I'm over here. I'm just like, man. My mom would have came through the phone. Like her hand would have reached in, came out, and slapped the shit out of me talking to her that fucking way. But little revenge, when he hangs up the phone all pissy and stuff, he looks up. Literally every little boy in the school is there looking down the stairs at him. Aw. Yeah. You got a little trouble on the home front.
I seriously thought they were about to beat him up, but that is not how that played out. Yeah, like they literally just kind of like
mock him a little bit,
which is kind of look, I don't like him, but that's a little cold.
Yeah,
the thing they're mocking him for, they're literally like mocking him like, oh, daddy doesn't love you. Wow. Ouch.
He was such a little prick earlier.
I agree
and he wasn't quiet, so I guess everybody heard him doing it through their doors, and all came out.
I'm just saying, little boys can be rough.
Yeah, they are.
Now's when we see,
you can just go to where he's just hacking this chicken apart, making some kind
of dinner,
stew or something.
It doesn't really matter.
No, but he is destroying that chicken.
And he does. He totally destroys it because we see that they don't eat the meal that he's making.
That's a good cut because he like has the timer goes off and then it looks all pretty in the plate and they're in a restaurant.
Yeah. But the real point here is that it's when Natalie's just telling him.
But yeah, we got to figure out how to get this kid home, right?
She's just telling him like, I'm at my wit's end. I told him I had a plane ticket. He didn't want a plane ticket.
Yeah. And Doyle's like, well, I'll go get him. Well,
Dutch,
my bad.
They're all D's here. There's so many D names in this movie.
Yeah, Dutch says, I can go get him.
Yeah, it'll be great. Two guys on the road bonding, road trip. Hell yeah.
Craziest idea ever.
Yeah, right.
Georgia to Chicago.
Yeah, no.
That's a road trip.
Man. Yeah, it is. Especially when you don't know the guy.
Yeah, and a kid.
Yeah, right. No, this is something you do with like your friends that you've known for a long time. This isn't how you get to know people. This is a bad idea
certainly
from the
not
beginning.
your girlfriend's kid.
Yeah, right. This is a bad idea from the beginning.
But she decides to go along with it.
Mm-hmm. She's like, okay, if you're sure, go for it.
We see that he, before we even get to Dutch actually going on the road trip, right? We get one more little Doyle clip.
Little Doyle being a dick.
Doyle's practicing karate in the gym.
Right. He's like,
our same little kid comes down.
Right, from earlier.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, my dad and mom just wanted me to see, they couldn't stand the thought of you just being here by yourself. Again, for how long? Like a week?
Right, like 2 weeks, a week?
They didn't ever real clear how long he might have been sitting here by himself, no other kids.
No, we only ever got like 4 days or something.
Yeah. But so Doyle is just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna go to your family. Your family's?
Isn't.
Yeah. And the kid's like, thank God, because I didn't really want you to come.
Thank God, and enjoy writhing in your own pissy world, sir. I'm out of here.
But now we get to see like the montage of Dutch going down there, right? Like we see that he takes a plane, he's at the airport, he calls, we get a phone call, and this phone call is like our first real clue that Dutch maybe has a job that's more than just truck driver.
Like dude said earlier.
Yeah, right? Because he's definitely calling somebody, he's like, he's in charge of people.
At least 2 guys, because he's like, tell Johnny and so-and-so.
He's at least in charge of whoever's on, 3 people. He's in charge of whoever's on the phone.
Yeah, that's 3 people.
And then the 2 people that he mentions, because again, you wouldn't talk the way he was talking to someone on the phone.
Unless you're at least like supervisor level, right?
So we know he's at least higher than truck driver.
Right. He's making at least decent money.
That's right. And then we see he gets a rental car.
Yeah.
Drives to the campus. We get our first real look at the campus. It's exactly what you'd think from a bunch of pretentious kids.
Stuck up British looking
boarding
school.
It's a place where
very nice brickwork.
Pristine. Yeah. But not somewhere you think you'd actually enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah. Even their groundskeeper's making more money than me.
Oh, probably. Then we see that Dutch makes his way into the dorm room, takes a look at Doyle's room.
Yeah,
Doyle's room is nicer than the dorm room I had in college.
Right, this thing is like mahogany paneled, and it's got all this like super nice wood furniture and all these
crazy
expensive instruments and shit everywhere.
And so Dutch is just taking a look,
admiring the room and stuff.
Everything.
Like, oh, hey, this kid does stuff.
Doyle walks up, takes a look, and we see a moment.
Yeah, for a second.
Oh, well, before we even address his face and what he thinks, I want to say, we see him walk up, right?
Yeah.
Can we address that he's in full uniform? Like, does that not look like he was in full dress uniform?
Yeah, he's in full, like,
school is
uniform.
Out. No one else is on that. Like, literally, we see it's empty. No one else is in this campus.
He is very meticulous and uptight. Maybe he's like, I'm still at school, so I have to be in uniform.
That's crazy. But yeah, so he sees Dutch, but only from the back. So at first he's like, he thinks it's his dad.
Yeah, he's like, Dad! And Dutch turns around all goofy like, no, I'm not your dad. And he just starts beating Dutch's ass.
I want to point out right now,
justified.
I agree.
Completely justified.
This kid.
Yeah, he's like 13.
He's 12, 13 at best.
Most,
I would say 12, probably.
Yeah.
So he's 12. He walks into a room, his room, on a campus that no one else is on.
And there's just a guy in
that
my room.
That he doesn't know because his mom has only told him this guy's name.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he looks like.
Yeah,
he doesn't know that he's coming.
Right.
His mom never told, because again, Dutch was like, I'm gonna make it a surprise because the kid didn't want to come.
Bad idea. He deserved to get beat with a golf club and kicked in the nuts.
Everything.
And then shot with the sweetest BB gun.
The magical BB gun.
Yeah, the magical BB gun that ejects cases.
Yeah, if anyone out there knows what BB gun drops shell casings, let us know.
Right? Is this a real gun? I want it.
Or is it just that the Foley guy
doesn't understand how BB guns work?
Like, I'm not sure, but if it's real, I want it.
Right.
I love the miniature. It's even like a miniature. The sound effect is like ting ting ting.
Right.
Like, it's so cute.
Yeah.
I want
It
it.
almost looks like a blaster too. It's all futuristic and curvy. I like it.
Yeah, so he gets blasted with the gun a couple times.
Yeah.
Dutch kind of just lays out for him that that's not how this is the real world.
Right.
You don't do dumb stuff like that to people. Who he is, and then he's like, and I want you to know you should count your blessings because the last man who caused me any kind of pain at the level you have
Has a dent in his forehead.
about the size of my pinky ring.
And he dribbles when he smiles. Eyes got real big.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, he just
Doyle was definitely worried when he heard that story.
But then he like bows up on him. He's just like, well, my dad's the most powerful man. I'm not going anywhere. And Duchess is like, all right, you think? And the next thing you see, he's got him hog-tied
on
a hockey stick.
And he's carrying him like a duffel bag.
Yeah, he's just carrying him out the door. And he's like, so what do you like to do for fun? Oh, grunt and wiggle? Yeah, me too. And just off they go.
And again, great scene.
Yeah, it was.
Because this totally it's what they use for the
Movie poster?
Yeah, the movie poster. It's all of the different publicity for the movie was this
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You showed me the trailer when you brought this movie up. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to like this movie.
Then we officially
start our journey.
We just start the road trip now. Road trip is on.
He just put him in the back seat. He didn't untie him, nothing. He just threw the hockey stick in the back seat and off they went.
Yeah. Underwear in his mouth.
Yeah, underwear in his mouth. Which Dutch does apologize. He's like, I have to say I'm sorry. I cannot confirm whether or not those are clean. And the kid spits them out. And I'm like, well, if you could just spit them out the whole time, why'd you leave them in there?
Well, I think it was just a slow process, man.
They had to work it.
Yeah. Slowly,
right?
Slowly centimetered it out of his
throat.
Mouth. Yeah.
Poor kid.
But then Doyle starts screaming about how he needs to stop
the car.
And so Dutch says, all right.
Yeah,
he locks this thing up, right? So again, it's just got to be like pre-analog brakes,
right?
It
has to be because he slid like they were going 130. Like they slid forever.
But they were definitely only going 45 miles an hour. Yeah, so it's got to be like analog brakes.
It has to be.
No analog. I don't know. It's pre-analog brakes.
I never had a car without analog brakes.
I have no idea. If it's not, I don't understand what just happened. But yeah, as soon as he finishes locking it up, he's like, gotta love a Ford for good brakes. Which was, it's a funny line. Would have been funnier if he said, if they had him driving a Dodge and he said Dodge, because that's what Al Bundy drove. It's always
Dodge. They should have used a Dodge car. Would have been funnier.
That's right. Because again, the director definitely tells him to dial up the Al Bundy, so somebody was wanting to recognize the fact that he's Al Bundy. Why not go ahead and dial it up for a joke?
I would have. Maybe the guy's like, it's too close.
Maybe they had a deal with Ford.
Maybe.
Check
product placement.
Check the credits and see that one.
Right, just a big Ford symbol at the bottom. Like, we know where that money came from. Got it.
They finish the break scene. He moves Doyle up front, and now we get a couple small little scenes to let us know that there's an uneasy bond starting to kind of form here, right? Like we get
they're jabbing back and forth.
Yeah, they're having their little moments. We see Doyle falls asleep, right?
Yeah,
and Dutch wakes him up. It's like, wake up! You gotta look!
It's the Cumberland Mountains. They're so beautiful, and it's fucking
pitch black. You can't see anything.
Shit. And he looks at him like, "What the?" Fuck?
And he kind of laughs.
He's just like, "Yeah."
And then he starts singing to him. I'm so lonesome I could cry. And this is we got to mention this because at the end of the song, he flashes that first Al Bundy. Like the first time that somebody someone told him, "We really need you to crank the Al Bundy up," because most of the song. It's just Ed O'Neill. It's just Ed O'Neill.
He's being annoying.
But the last words, he gets so unintelligible. You can barely tell what he's saying. His facial features start to fold up into Al Bundy when he's making fun of people. Right. And it's just like, yeah, okay. If someone wasn't there telling him to make that choice, I don't know what's going on, because I don't believe Ed O'Neill would have just done
I don't think he was like, it'd be great here
if I just turned into one of my other characters.
Into one of my other characters in the middle of this movie.
Yeah, but it was definitely there. He for sure dropped the Al Bundy in that moment.
Then they stopped for gas.
Yeah, then they got stopped for gas in Tennessee. So
fireworks
again, mind you, we told you that this car trip, and it's all on the back roads.
Yeah, because Dutch likes the back roads.
Yeah, he told us earlier he likes the back roads. So he made some ground, right? We get
Georgia to Tennessee.
You assume he picked this kid up at 10 o'clock in the morning?
Something.
Noon?
Yeah, noon, something like that.
He's somewhere in Tennessee already. He's making it.
Booking it, dude, especially on them curvy ass
country
back roads.
I guess he has to, because what if it was only a 4-day thing? So
he would have to haul ass.
I don't know. They're never real clear with us about how long everything is supposed to take. Because at a certain point, day and night just becomes like...
Yeah, arbitrary.
Yeah, they're just... They show whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really kept track of how many day-night scenes they did.
John Hughes did not have a calendar, so he wasn't keeping track.
Well, he just wrote it, remember?
Yeah,
Someone
he
else
just
directed
wrote,
it.
somebody else
it's not
directed
on
it.
Hughes if the day-nights don't line up.
I'm sure he wrote them in the script.
Oh,
Time
I'm sure he did.
stamps.
I'm sure he did. He stops in Tennessee. We see that he hard brakes middle of the road because he sees this fireworks superstore.
It's huge.
It's
big,
like
giant
two
neon
stories.
signs.
And again, only in Tennessee you're gonna find a gas station, 2-story fireworks store,
Right.
selling fireworks in November.
Right.
What?
Wow, Tennessee's great, isn't it?
Well, and again, here's the thing. I don't know if that's true.
It definitely was in the
I don't
90s.
know. Well, even if I don't even know if it was in the 90s. I know that's the myth. That's the conception.
That's where Dad would go.
Well, that's what my dad would do, and that's what he would say. I don't know if other states were. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's just the
myth.
for all I know. That's just
Right.
the myth that evolved. Is that you go to Tennessee, and so once it's evolved, nobody goes against it because when they get there, they see that it's true.
Yeah.
He was super excited for the
Yeah,
fireworks.
he's super excited about it.
Because he thinks this is how he's going to win Doyle over, right?
Doyle thinks about it when he goes inside. He unbuckles and almost opens the door, but he's just such a stubborn little prick.
Well, and then Dutch comes out. He's got a bag full of fireworks.
He's got a bag full of fun.
He sits in the car. He's like, we're going to go have fun.
And the kid's just like, fireworks are illegal in Illinois. He's like, yeah, this is Tennessee.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. He's
And
like,
then
you're going
he-
to blow them up here? He's like, no, not in the gas station, you idiot.
That'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out the racy.
The racy playing cards,
Yeah.
right?
This is a scene. I don't know about the actual writing of it. I don't know if that's super John Hughes-ish, but the music the
definitely
musical
was.
choice, it was totally like 80s,
It
like
was.
rompy, Ferris Bueller-ish. Like, and he's doing this little finger dance.
Right,
Like,
making
where did
the
he
card
learn how to
magic
do that,
it
right?
up out of the
What
out
is
of the
that?
deck.
Why is that a skill he has?
I don't
Why
know,
is that
but
a
I
skill?
want to learn how to do that. I want to make cards magically dance up out of
You
the
want to
deck.
learn how to strip dance with
strip
a
dance with a
playing
with a
card?
playing card. Yeah, dude, TikTok. I'd make a fuck ton of money.
But yeah, so then we get out to a field in the middle of nowhere because again he drives on the back roads.
Yeah, he does.
You know, if he
This
was
is
on the
like some-
interstate, you couldn't find this.
You couldn't find. Yeah, this is some
Field,
farm somewhere.
abandoned. It looks
Yeah,
like.
there wasn't nobody there.
And he decides he's gonna start setting off the fireworks. This scene is great.
Yeah, it is.
Rivals any fireworks scene in any other movie. I don't care what you think.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
It cuts all sound out.
Yeah, it's just like
There's
there's circus music
Well,
going on.
Sorry, it doesn't cut sound out. It cuts all dialogue out.
Yeah, there's
it's,
no
it's essentially
dialogue.
like a silent movie just with sound effects at this point.
Yeah.
It's great.
Getting some Buster Keaton going here.
Yeah, definitely those like Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton vibes for
Right.
sure. That's definitely what we got.
He takes a bump too. One of the firecracker things goes off and knocks him over, and he lands on his butt. It was very Buster Keaton.
It's really good. The whole scene's great. He starts lighting off fireworks. Doyle is watching. You can see there's several times.
Yeah, where he wants to get out of the car.
And again, I don't buy this because at the very least, any self-respecting 12-year-old is getting out when the Roman candles.
That's what I was going to say. Especially when the Roman candles came out, like, no, I don't care how pissed off I am.
Because Dutch pulls out every trick.
You know, like everything you were told not to do
with a Roman candle. He's shooting it from his mouth. He's
Right.
throwing it like a wand. He's pissing it out.
Yeah, right.
He's pooping it out.
Right. He's doing all of them.
Everything you want to do with Roman candles.
So, yeah. But the kid's still just like, "Meh, no.
He fights the urge.
Yeah, he fights
stays
it.
in. Then we get this penultimate firework for
Yeah.
us. But it wasn't supposed to be.
No, it's
the
supposed to
bag
be
had plenty more in
Yeah,
it.
there's supposed to be just like one of those little spinning things. It goes, whee.
But the giveaway should have been for Dutch.
The like 9-foot long cord.
The fact that they wanted you to get that far away from that thing.
Right? It's like
Should have been a clue.
Should have been a real big clue. It's gonna go nuts.
But yeah, so it's one of those things you put on a nail.
Yeah,
and it's
and
supposed to just spin. It's supposed to spin. It's not supposed to do anything special.
No.
Which I have put those things on the ground before. They are super dangerous. When you
Oh,
put them
yeah,
on the ground,
we
'cause
did
they
it one
pop
time.
in the air and they
Yeah, and then
they'll
fly around
wherever.
and then went under a car. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
were like, oh god, the car's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. So I understand the fear of what happens in this movie.
Right.
But so he has it on a nail like you're
Yeah.
supposed to. But again, it goes so fast.
And it just spins right off
the nail.
of it.
And then it starts chasing him.
Chases him around. And that's another good like Buster Keaton scene. Very good.
And then it finally lands in the bag.
Right.
Of all the rest of the fireworks.
That's that was just a bunch of M80s in the bottom that he was just going to like blow shit up. That's like the last thing you do.
Because it had to have been something like that. Because we do see he throws his jacket on there and the hole
try and put it out.
It looks like a shotgun blast to the back of his jacket.
Blows the back of his jacket off.
And then he gets in the car, sits down. He's got feathers flying. He's pulling them out of his mouth, but the look on his face still
like
reads,
they're not there.
Yeah, it still reads like this isn't happening.
Yeah.
You're not
just gonna get rid of these. That was fun.
This is a totally normal moment. There are no feathers flying around us.
Then what? Then they drive off, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. You know how this works, man.
Yeah,
This one kind of
more driving.
Yeah, it is a road trip movie, right? The next thing we get is that he goes. They're going for a meal, and
once you blow up a bunch of shit, you get hungry.
Well, in they want you to think that this is a place you shouldn't eat at, or it's certainly a place that Doyle is afraid to eat at. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. This is the kind of place.
You want to eat.
You get the best. You're gonna have the
ignore how gross it is.
No, it's gonna be disgusting.
Right?
Don't pay attention to what's happening in the background.
Ignore the lady with the 3-foot long cigarette ash.
But that food is gonna be the best food you've ever eaten in your life. You get the best
cheeseburger there.
But Doyle is Doyle, and he doesn't. Yeah, he's all anything.
Snobby and rude.
Snob and snooty. We see Dutch is just checking in with his mom, with Natalie, as he should be, because they're on a crazy road trip.
Super adventure.
And that's it, though, right? At the diner,
it's really short.
The first diner doesn't have anything happen. We don't even see food or anything.
It's just they show that it's kind of gross in there.
Well, we're just seeing it. We're just still seeing that Doyle's still snobby. Yeah. He's not moved past anything.
He hasn't evolved yet. Yeah.
Now we get more road trip scenes, right? We get them fighting
over the radio, the radio battle,
and then the window, right? It's a double. It's a double battle.
Yeah,
it's both the radio and the window up or down at the same time,
and the heater, and then one. I think he like pushes Dutch's seat up. And he's pressed up against the steering wheel, and he's just like,
so much,
little prick,
so much.
Right.
Then Dutch is like, I'm gonna win this, and he pulls out a cigar.
Out the big fat cigar.
He's like, do you like smoke?
No.
Well, okay,
good.
Lights it with all the windows still up, then rolls them down, just to make sure, right? Just to make sure there's a couple seconds of lingering smoke in the car.
Totally. I thought he was gonna leave it up.
I did too. I was like, he's just gonna smoke with it. He's gonna smoke. He's literally gonna smoke the kid out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he's gonna fill that car up, big hot box it with cigar smoke. You know what I mean? Like that's
kid's
what
gonna be choking to death over there.
During this moment, though, Doyle's like, I'm telling you right now. I bet you I can break you. He doesn't say those words, but that's what he's like. I can break you. I can win. I know that. You know, he's pulling the rich snooty kid. You know, like I'm better than you. And Dutch is like, no,
you can't. You want to put some money on it?
Let's do this bet.
All right, how much?
$5,000.
$5,000.
Yeah, Dutch is just like, no, we're real people. Don't do that
here.
Yeah. Real people don't make bets like that. $20.
He didn't knock him a little. He's like, yeah, I bet you have it too. Yeah. A little gilded box underneath your bed.
I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he did too.
But so as soon as he takes the bet, though.
Yeah, it goes to
Dutch puts the cigar in the ashtray to shake his hand, and Doyle grabs the fucking cigar and throws it in his lap. The most unhinged thing you could ever fucking think to do while you're driving 65
on an icy road at night.
It was nuts.
No, just boop right in his crotch.
Rightfully so.
Dutch is super pissed.
He stops the car, gets out. You think he's about to literally beat the shit out of the kid. And he would have been justified.
Totally.
One of those moments where I don't care what anybody says, that kid had it coming.
When you almost kill somebody, you get your ass beat. It's just how the world works.
But Dutch lets level heads prevail, and he just throws him out of the car. Then throws his coat because as he's doing it, he's telling him like, "I'm leaving you," and the kid's like, "No, you're not." He's like, "I am."
Yep,
you think I'm not going to? And he even gives him the chance. He says, "You throw one more of those." Well, at first it was snowballs at first, and then it was dirt clods, and then it was literally
or something.
I don't know, but he was just like, "You throw one more thing at me." Or my car.
Yeah, I'm going to leave you here.
I'm going to leave you. And kid's like, no, you're not. Throws one more thing. Dutch says, okay.
Boom, gone.
Peace out. Enjoy walking the
50 miles to the hotel. That wasn't no 50 miles.
No, it was a good threat.
It was.
It was a good.
Because the kid don't fucking know.
Yeah, but so he tells him it's 50 miles. You better start walking.
Yeah, you better haul ass.
Doyle's screaming, "It's too cold for that.
I'm gonna die."
He was not gonna die.
No.
There was like a thin layer of snow. Like we're not
Yeah,
talking
it's
like
like
he was in feet of snow. He was like
45
it was a dusting
degrees, right?
of snow out there. Yeah, it was gonna melt by daylight, right? Like it was not that big of a deal. But he's
Pain in the ass, and he's gonna be cold.
well, because again,
but
you
he
gotta
won't
think about what state they gotta be in, right? Like if they were just in Tennessee, at best they're in Kentucky.
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah,
we know the
you
weather
ain't gonna
here.
freeze to death in that. You're gonna be pissed off and cold.
And not in November.
No.
It was literally 70 degrees 2 days ago here in Kentucky, guys.
Right.
So no, he wasn't gonna die.
Little whiny little bitch.
Yeah, but so we see Dutch gets to the cheap motel.
The motel? Can you really call it that? These were like shacks.
Well, and again, it's not the kind of place that a 45-year-old man
And a
should
young
be taking
boy
a
should go.
12-year-old boy.
No.
He's lucky the cops or the feds didn't show up while he was in there, right?
Yeah.
It takes Doyle a while.
Yeah.
But
he
everybody
finally
drives past him.
The truck on splashing him with the ice and
But
stuff.
so he makes it up. He gets inside. Dutch is like, well, I'm glad you made it.
Good job. You're not dead. I thought you were.
Doyle's like, where's my stuff?
Again, I thought you were dead. It's in the
I
car.
left it in the car. Throws him the keys. Dumbest moment.
Rookie move.
Okay.
You had won such a great victory up to that point.
How do you know? You know, like again, like we assume it's still 5 miles. That still took that kid over an hour to walk there, right?
Yeah.
That's our assumption.
Yeah.
Do you think that at any point a kid that is that pissed off, he's had an hour
to
or
plan.
better to plan or think about or just be angry, is not going to do something outrageous?
Stupid? Yeah.
No, this was the dumbest thing ever.
stupid.
But
Very
the
dumb.
kid does cross a lot of lines.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, like I thought, you know, like fucking leave the windows down, let him have freeze out when he comes out in the morning. Something stupid like that.
Yeah.
No. Doyle full
Fucking
on
steals the car.
tries.
Apparently
he can't drive.
Apparently they don't teach drivers that at his fancy boarding school.
Well, he's 12.
Still, golf cart, anything?
But so he drives off. Dutch is in his underwears. He's desperately trying to put clothes on.
More Al Bundy, him trying to put those pants on.
He's desperately trying to put clothes on. He finally makes it out the door. By the time he gets out the door, though, the car is already stalled.
Like
middle
in
of the road.
middle of the road.
Right in front of a bunch of construction.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Crazy, like the giant
big cones and stuff.
Yeah, the barrels, I think.
Yeah, even the barrels. And the big semi's coming.
Smashes it.
Dude destroys this car. It was really cool.
It was insane. There was, I guess it was supposed to be transmission fluid because there was red. Did you see like the red fluid everywhere? Because at first you're supposed to be thinking like, holy shit.
Doyle
this movie is
dead.
way different than what I thought it was.
This movie took a 180. This is a horror movie now. That kid is all kinds of dead.
But it's not. It's definitely supposed to be some fluid from the car.
Yeah.
Dutch gets out of the car. He's like, what? No. The truck driver's like, what the?
Well, I didn't see anything.
It came out of nowhere, which we definitely know is not true.
No, it was sitting in the middle of the road. This is why the truck driver went along with the story Dutch comes up with later, because he's like, "Oh, I definitely saw that car. I was not paying attention. Yeah. You know, I'm on speed. Whatever truck driver excuse he's got.
Black dog.
Nice.
It was definitely it was an intense moment. But then he sees that Doyle is alive. He's up on top of the bypass, looking down at him,
and he looks like he was about. He apologized for a second.
I don't even know if he was actually about to apologize, but he definitely feels the remorse. Because even when he says the next dickheaded thing that comes out of his mouth, he still has the look on his face of like,
God, man,
I really fucked up
here.
Like as if the cigar in the lap wasn't a bad enough fuck up. Like, you know, like
you almost killed Dutch and yourself. That's
now you're
one
bringing
thing.
other people.
Now you almost killed this poor guy.
Yeah. Dutch has to break it down to him like that.
Yeah,
too.
he does. Like when he after the cops and stuff, and he pays
gives the truck driver enough cash to hopefully fix his truck. And if not, this is when we finally find out that Dutch is definitely not just a truck driver
or just an employee. He owns that bitch.
Because at this point, both Doyle and Doyle's dad have thrown the like, you're just a truck driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, he owns the company because he throws out a business card to this man.
It's like Doyle's Trucking or something like that. Dooley,
because it's his last name.
There's
it's
so
Dutch Dooley.
So many D's.
But yeah, so it's Dooley's cement truck company.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. And so we know that he owns the company.
Yeah,
he's got enough money that he's going to fix this dude's truck and make sure he's got no problems with his company, his truck company. Because again, Dutch would know how this works. He knows how he contracts out. Well, he contracts out truck drivers
and stuff.
He literally knows how this guy's job would treat him.
Yeah, especially if he's an independent truck driver and he owns that truck like my papa did.
He knows. Well, where do we go from there, though? What happens after the
this is when
wreck?
After
they've got no car now. Yeah, they've got no car.
And this is where we get in the hotel room.
Yeah, so they have a fight in the hotel room. We have to address all this because this is where the
tipping point, I guess.
Well, no, this is where they mess with the edit.
Oh yeah, this was weird.
It's from right here and through the next like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, where the editing is weird.
Someone messed with the editing. You can tell that there was clearly either stuff that was in there that's not, or just that they moved around
in the wrong order
or something. But so we see them in the hotel room. Dutch is like, dude, you gotta learn. You can't do stuff like that to people. Like, there are consequences beyond us.
And then Doyle, being a little smart ass, is just like, don't flatter yourself. And
he throws the kung fu
hands out and stuff.
Dutch says, we can't do that. We're going to do this for real. If you want to do this time, we'll do it for real.
Yeah, good old fashioned
American. He teaches him, he says, let me show you how to make a fist. Like Doyle doesn't know how to make a fist.
Little thummies so you don't break them,
Again, this was another one of those moments where it was like,
move.
What are you thinking?
You don't ever give anybody a free shot. What's wrong with you? I don't care if they're 5 years old.
And so he takes a shot. This is the part though where edits get weird because he takes a shot, he lands. We see for a split second that Doyle definitely runs into the bathroom. We can assume would shut the door and lock it. Next scene, they're
peacefully asleep.
They're not even asleep. They're just peacefully in their beds because Dutch looks at his wallet to look at the picture of Doyle's mom. Doyle is being a creepy perv and looking at the playing cards.
On the card. Finally gets to see him some boobies.
But Dutch still looks at him like, that kid.
He is human.
Tearing up a little bit. But yeah, we see this scene where it's like, well, no, this isn't what we should have seen. We should have seen
how'd we get here?
Yeah, we should have seen some kind of like
resolution. Dutch should have woke up, been like, ow, my jaw.
Apologized through the bathroom door.
Through the bathroom or something. And
no, we got none of that.
Just no time for that. We just skipped straight to
them being okay and in the bed.
We had to get to the booby card.
Yeah, well, but now's when it keeps going,
getting weirder.
Because now the next thing we see is them outside hitchhike, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got the sign.
Right. Because they don't have a car.
And he's like, this is where he gives them the male call it male ego or good old fashioned male.
We're not going to call your mom. I'm going to get you home.
I'm going to figure out a way to get you home. But they're hitchhiking.
Yeah.
When he says that, immediate next thing we see,
they're on a goddamn charter bus.
Yeah. Okay.
How'd they get on the charter bus?
I don't know.
They don't let you on if you're hitchhiking.
I just want to finish where the edits are messed up. Then we'll go back to what actually happens on the bus. Yeah. We'll just go back to what we see during them. But I just want to point out how you can tell that they just started to cut it weird. So they show him hitchhiking, then on the bus, then at a bus stop, which easily could have been before. It could have been where they bought the ticket, not where they got off the bus at, right? Yeah. But then we see them leave the bus stop to the gas station where they're hitchhiking and see the girls.
Yeah.
Which means that we could have just had this hitchhiking sign scene with the girls and the bus stop all together. But no, it's all intermixed and weird.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Okay. Now that we've addressed it's all weird, we'll just go back to the bus and we'll talk. We'll just talk about all of it because again, road trip movie. All of this happens really quick.
Yeah.
So he's on the bus. He hears some people beside him blasting some music. It's not even that loud.
No, it's not. But he's such a little dick.
He just wants to be a prick. These guys are listening to music, and he tells me, he's like, "You guys, can you please turn your music down? I am trying to." What? It's
sit on a fucking
public bus, dude. So the guys are just like, they turn it down at first.
Yeah. But then they notice his Nikes shoes, or whatever they are.
Whatever. And they're like, the one guy's like, my buddy wants your shoes. These guys don't look like thugs.
No, they
just look like dudes that were on the bus listening to music. But all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe they're thugs like gangbangers or something. Right? But so he's like, my buddy wants your shoes. And so we're just like, okay. And again, I want to point out, even in the scene when we see Doyle's shoes look, for a rich kid, they look ratty.
They're just black tennis shoes.
They don't look like good tennis shoes. No, they don't
look like Air Jordans or anything like that.
Then we see them getting off the bus, and he's wearing whatever shoes that the guy wore.
Those shoes were cooler.
They were like MC Hammer dress shoes, right? Wingtip, white wingtip shoes. All they needed were cleaned up.
Yep, just some polish.
Doyle could have taken those to a pawn shop and probably got more money for those shoes.
Yeah.
Than the tennis shoes that they took from him. I did not understand this scene.
He came out on top, in my opinion.
I definitely think he came out on top.
I liked those shoes.
But so then so once they get off the bus, we see.
Yeah, they're hitchhiking again.
Doesn't he tell his Doyle to call his mom?
Yeah, I think so.
But he doesn't.
No.
He just gets mad and he stomps off. Not important. I just wanted to make sure that I did.
He goes in the bathroom.
This was mainly.
He goes in the bathroom and there's the old man taking a bath in the sink, and he's like, "You hungry for your turkey dinner?" And he's just like, "Ugh."
I guess at this point we assume they're getting really close to Thanksgiving. How many days? I just want to bring it up again because at this point it really starts to hit you. Like they were in the car for a day. Literally they made it seem like the whole overnight, the whole driving
because it was.
But then they stayed in a hotel a night. Was this another night on the bus?
Right.
How many days are they gone?
I don't think it takes that long to get to Illinois from Georgia. Now that I think about it.
Well, again, I was like, it'll be a long drive. I didn't mean it would be an eternity trip, but that's what we're getting here.
Even with Dutch trying to draw it out to get to know the kid, it still wouldn't take this long.
But so now we get the moment they're hitchhiking again.
He's trying to teach him to be pathetic.
Dutch is trying to teach Doyle to be pathetic. It's one of the great moments in the movie.
Yeah.
You see, he's like, make the face. You got to make the face. You got to and you got to throw in the sound.
Put your hands up, and
you got to go.
You look pathetic. You want to ride. You gotta look grievous, and kind of cry. Oh, my heart. I had a bad heart.
And you think it's the dumbest advice in the world, but then two girls give him a ride.
Two girls give him a ride at a very, very nice Trans Am, it looked like.
These girls, though.
Yeah.
Let's stop for a second to address these girls. So again, this is E.G. Daily.
Tommy Pickles.
This is Tommy Pickles. She is the main hooker.
Hooker one.
Yeah, she is. Well, she's definitely the older of the two.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next point. The other girl, Brock.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar.
It's a weird name.
I want a cut of her turning around and saying Brock, and then it cuts to the back seat, and it's just Brock Lesnar back there with him.
Well, you'd have to definitely.
I'd have to figure out how to do that, but it'd be funny to me.
This girl is
15.
underage. Again,
Max.
she's probably not really.
No,
but she
she
100% looks like. Again, I thought in my recollection before going back to watch this movie recently, I thought she was. I didn't recall that she was also a call girl.
When they got in the car and
before she says it?
Before they say anything, he gets in there with Doyle. I was like, oh, Doyle's going to have a girl closer to his age to kind of learn to be a man, right?
Doyle and this girl, though, I feel so bad for him that she wasn't his age. Because it could have gone somewhere.
Oh, yeah. She seemed like she actually liked him.
That being said, he still got to drool on her titties. I know what that really means, but he got to drool on her titties.
His face was right in there.
So, good for him.
Bonus points for him.
During the scene, though, they do let both Dutch and Doyle know
that they're prostitutes.
Yeah.
Well, call girls. She didn't want to say prostitute in front of the boy.
Yeah. And that they also dance. Tops only.
Yeah, top only.
Bullshit. Yeah. But so at this point, though, Dutch doesn't care. A ride is a ride.
A ride's a ride.
He's just trying to get the kid home. It's whatever. Dutch falls asleep. We get the crazy lotion in the mouth scene.
Yeah, she's
trying. She picks his pocket,
and now she wants the big gold pinky ring.
She wants the ring.
The Denton ring.
Yeah. So she tries to steal the ring. She needs the lotion. She squirts him straight in the mouth.
Because it doesn't want to come out.
Yeah, Al Bundy again.
Yep. Doesn't even wake up. He's just kind of still asleep, just like, oh, God, that tastes awful.
But yeah, so the girls, after we get the lotion scene, the girls dropped him off at a gas station. They tricked him into
thinking they were just gonna get some gas.
It wasn't even a trick from Brock's point. She thought that was what was going to happen, but then the other girl was like, "No.
No, I stole dude's wallet.
We're leaving. We're leaving." She's like, "Oh."
I was just starting to feel respectable.
But so at this point, once Dutch realizes that they got left, he's just defeated.
Yeah, he's
like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't care. It's over. It's whatever. He tells...
Go call your mom. Tell her to come send somebody to get you.
But Doyle does not call his mom. Doyle calls his dad's house one more time.
London Estate?
Something.
I don't know what it is.
Gets the hooker.
Oh, yeah.
Gets his hooker.
Gets his hooker.
And realizes his dad's been lying to him.
Yeah, there ain't no
there was
business
no work.
meeting.
There was no business. There was nothing important.
He just went to go have fun in London.
At this point,
Dutch is his only chance, right? So he's got to go kind of make nice.
So they go back, and now we blow past full. Like, it's not even just hitchhiking now, right?
Right. No, they stow
now
away.
It's straight up like Hobo Central.
Yeah, like they're on the it's like the back of a semi truck.
Truck spotting.
Yeah.
Right? So there's like train spotting with a truck.
Spotting, yeah.
So it's insane. But they
would have froze to death.
They certainly, because they were going on their. By this point, they're definitely in Illinois.
They're definitely past Chicago.
Lower Illinois.
Yeah,
they're going to Chicago. So they're on their way.
cold up there.
But yeah, so they're in the back of this semi. It's getting really close to Thanksgiving though, so they're getting desperate. They're gonna do what they gotta do. They get to a truck depot,
Or
like
where they just drop off trailers and
or
stuff.
you know, or
I
yeah,
guess.
it's like it's just a giant place with all the. It's like the shipyard of a truck. Yeah, exactly. They realize they gotta leave the grounds.
Yeah, they're like, where are we?
They're trying to leave.
I'm sure there's a guard somewhere. We can ask them.
Dutch even says we can ask a guard, but then the guards find them, and these guards they are bored.
Yeah,
got nothing better to do with their time.
No.
Start treating these two like shit.
Right, go and they just fucking manhandle him out the gate and stuff. And
Beat Doyle gets a gash on his head.
Right.
Then while it's all going down, they even get the best of Dutch, which is crazy because Dutch is in way better shape than these two guards.
Right.
But I guess
he was selling his back. I guess he
I guess there were two of them. There were two of them
in that tube. He's sitting there all hunched
But
up.
so while it's going down, though, Doyle realizes, and why this hasn't been brought up at any other point, like when his shoes got stolen,
right?
That he has the
BB guns
in his pocket,
or Dutch has it because he snatches it.
Oh,
off
did he
Dutch.
snatch?
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's
then that's the
inside.
explanation.
It's like Dutch has been carrying it around the whole time.
Then that's the explanation.
Yeah. Because he's been threatening to shoot him in the ass since he got shot in the beginning of the movie.
But so he pulls the gun out, and he doesn't even think about like what he could do with it. At first.
He just points it at him.
Dutch is like,
Pete, don't do it. Don't kill anybody. Just tell the voices in your head that you already killed somebody. And it takes Doyle a second, and then he's just like, oh, okay, yeah. And he just starts like, I killed somebody. It didn't help. I have to shut up the voices. And he's pointing the gun at the dudes. And
don't kill me. I've got a family.
Why'd you tell me that? Now I have to kill them too. Pete, don't do it. He's crazy. The kid's got a lot of problems.
And so the guards let him go. Because what would you do?
And when he talked him down, he was just like, we'll go burn down a motel. And the cop over there, he's just like, yeah. There's lots of people in a motel. Go burn them down.
So they make it out. They get to a restaurant, a
pseudo fancy restaurant.
The waitress, hostess, whoever she is, just
bitch.
Totally. Because again, you're looking at a
kid
12-year-old
is busted open,
busted head. I don't care what the story is. I'm gonna let him use the bathroom.
I'm gonna let him go use the bathroom so he can clean the freaking wound on his skull.
But no. She's like she has them tossed out, but before they can get tossed out, the two people that just happen to be sitting beside them while this conversation was going down show up and they're like, "Let us help you guys."
Yeah,
and so you think that they're. I mean, again, like the way the moment plays, you feel like they're actually. You're like, "Oh, thank God,
they're gonna find the last leg, right?"
Right? You're like, "Oh, this is the point of the movie."
Yeah,
that humanity you can't count on. No, that's not the point of the movie because these people pull out the biggest privilege card ever on the.
They're like, drop them off at like a homeless shelter.
Yeah, they're like, oh, allow us to help you.
This tells me they didn't even ask them any follow-up questions like,
oh, nothing.
Where are you going? Where do you need to be? Like, because they probably could have just drove Doyle and Dutch to Natalie's house.
Couldn't have been much further.
Couldn't have been that much further.
Because they're pretty close.
Yeah.
As we find out.
But they're so super pleased with themselves when they're driving off.
And so we get them at the homeless shelter. The homeless shelter is... So again, if the whole movie has just been the slow evolution of Doyle, right? That's the whole point. This is where all of the lessons like really start smacking him in the face, right? So he gets there. There's this whole funny moment with the mattress first, right?
Yeah.
We gotta have... Anytime you have a comedy like this, you always got to have your funny before you get serious, right?
And then you get funny again. Yeah. You gotta go in valley.
Exactly. And so like the funny first is they're on the mattress, they're trying to go to sleep. Dutch just keeps falling through his mattress. Like,
it
can't hold can't support his weight. But it's because he can tell it's just got a bad connection.
Yeah.
And so he wakes up Doyle and he's like, we gotta switch. Doyle, while laughing, so you can tell it's all in good-hearted fun.
He's like, what makes you think it'll hold me up?
He's just like, why? Why would I do that? He's like, well, I'll tell you, because I'm about 1,000 hamburgers ahead of you in life.
I'm 15,000 cheeseburgers ahead of you in life.
And I think it can I think it can hold you.
That's a fair guess.
But they switch, and it does indeed hold him.
And it does indeed hold Doyle.
Once he's in his new position, he sees a little girl.
The little cute little girl, and she's all
they
waving
do the
high with their thumb.
Yeah, they do the thumb wave. And then so he starts talking to the girl's mom. We get to hear her story and how quickly and easily
shit just goes to hell.
And you can end up in a place like that.
Yeah, just like it was like one thing. And then
they were living in their car, and they thankfully were able to get into the this is here. Doyle is here being like, I can't believe I end up at a homeless shelter. And this
These people
family
are
is like,
super happy
I'm
about
so glad that we were able to get in this homeless shelter.
Because we would have frozen our car last night.
Yeah, and so like it
cold.
he really starts to put it into perspective for him. You know, that money is not the thing. It's not the end all be all.
It's not whether you have money that makes you a good person or not.
That's exactly.
And he even calls Dutch his dad when the lady asks him. She's like, "So is that your dad?" And he's just kind of like, "Yeah, I guess he is." And Dutch overhears it. And he's just all
touching moment.
Yeah.
Then we see the next day, which is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we finally see them rolling up to
Natalie's house.
so Doyle's mom's
the
house.
nice family from the homeless shelter drove them in their beat up
car that looked like
I for real thought was the car from the beginning of the movie that got hit by the semi somehow.
It kind of
same color, and it was smashed on the same side.
But it was not.
They rebuilt it. That's what happened. They couldn't afford another car, so smashed some dents.
Before we see Doyle go inside, we see Dutch taking care. Like he has the whole movie. Because again, he's our
blue collar hero.
Blue collar hero. He pulls out another car. And he's talking to the mom
and dad and stuff.
He's
like, just like,
I'm gonna try to get you a job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you get squared away.
Right.
We're gonna help take care of all of this. Then
dude.
Yeah. Then we see them get inside, and again, we're ready for it just to be nothing but happy, right? Because we don't know, but
we're done.
Doyle's dad, Reed,
Shooter McGavin,
he's inside waiting
with his evil mustache, ready to be a dick.
Steps in. Well, he does. He steps right in between Doyle and Doyle's mom, thinking
that he's got the upper hand here.
Soon as Doyle lays eyes on his dad, he says, "Fuck that."
He walks around.
Goes to his mom, gives her a giant hug, turns around, starts telling his dad off because he knows. He's like, "I called.
Yeah, I know you weren't on any business.
There's no business.
Trip. Shut up.
Don't lie to me." All the while this is going on, Dutch is in the background watching. Proud that it's going on.
Just a big grin on his face.
Reed sees him, does like he did before, in the restaurant. He's like, "This family,
leave?
We don't need you here."
And then
tries to push him out the door,
and he just kind of stops, comes right back in.
Dutch just stops the door.
Right.
It's like,
no. You're gonna have to deal with me, Dick.
Closes it gently himself, stands there, lets whatever's gonna happen. Reed starts telling Natalie, like, "Fuck this, you're out of the house.
Yeah, I want you out by Monday.
You're lucky I'm giving you that.
Right.
It's all done for.
Fuck you people.
I don't care what, I don't care what Doyle thinks. He's coming with me because, again, I blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
I'm a rich fuck who thinks he can get whatever I want. Yeah. So then he starts to storm off and go outside, and he does it again. He tries to slam the door. And Dutch catches the door.
This is great. My favorite part. Catches the door and he just looks over at Natalie and Doyle and he's like,
I'll be right back.
I got this.
I gotta take care of something.
He goes outside. He's just like, hey,
I needed to talk to you about something. I need to talk to you.
Like, so like how long does she have to get out of here?
The weekend. I told her she has to be out on Monday.
Grabs his tie. Like, hang on. What was that? Starts to say it again.
Thunk.
The big pinky ring.
He followed through with the
he did.
He promised it to Doyle,
but he
did promise through with what he does.
If somebody fucks with him, he leaves a nice little pinky ring sized dent right in the middle of their forehead, and
he drools when he smiles.
And that's Doyle's dad now. He thumps him. He's just like, now how long does she have?
6 months.
6 months sound good?
Yeah.
You going to be nice
sounds
to
great.
Doyle and Natalie now? Like, yes, sir. That's what I thought.
And then in true, now this is one of those moments where I 100% know that this was a line that John Hughes had major parts in.
Yeah, this is definitely John Hughes'
because this was the touching, it's very touching, but at the same time very real, right?
Yeah.
Like Dutch looks at him, he's like, look, I can tell you right now, Doyle's a great kid. I love him. He's a good friend of mine, but that's all he's ever going to be. You're his dad. So you're going to have to start doing that. You're going to start doing the things to make that happen.
Right. Oh. Total John Hughes line. You got to end with the sentimental.
Yeah, it was great.
Then again, we got to get another joke because
Shooter
wanders off. He's all staggering. He's like,
he almost falls to the wrong direction.
There's my car.
Then he staggers towards his car.
And then takes a full flat back bump when he gets over there. Just zoop.
That's good.
End of him. Fuck him. He's done.
Well, and you think, you're like, this is probably the end of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
This is over.
We get one more scene.
Yeah. We're having a nice little...
It's literally Thanksgiving dinner, finally.
Finally. We have some turkey.
Turkey
and pie.
Doyle and Dutch are both cleaned up.
Yeah.
Finally.
They don't look like homeless people anymore.
And so Dutch looks over at Doyle across the table and he's like, hey, I need you to get me something from my coat pocket. It's for your mom. And you can tell both Natalie and Doyle are like, oh, he's gonna be my new papa.
Yeah, he's gonna propose. It's what it does seem that way.
It does. I'm not lying. He stands up and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go get it.
To go.
Pulls the gun out and he's like,
BB gun.
He's like, don't you remember I
owe you something. I owe you a shot in the ass, right?
And then as soon as he says it, Doyle he looks really scared for a second. Then he starts laughing because he looks at his mom. He's like, he's not gonna do this. He's not gonna do that in front of my mom.
Mom's not gonna let him do this,
right? And so his mom's like, and then they all start nervously laughing, and then nervous laughter turns into real laughter.
Yeah,
Dutch included.
Dutch is laughing, and he's like,
And then he dead stops.
It just dead stops, and
fade to black,
pink, ow,
and clink, clink, clink.
Yep,
of the
shell casing again.
That again, I don't know what this gun has.
I want that gun. Tell me what kind of gun it is.
I desperately want to believe it's real.
Me too.
All right, though, we're done with the movie. Yeah. That was it. How'd you like your Heineken?
I mean, it's a Heineken. You can't really go wrong with that. What would you call this? Country fancy?
Yeah.
Fancy.
You know, it was fancy. It was fancy at one time.
Right.
Like in the 90s, in 91, this is 100% what Reed would have been drinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Not what Dutch would have been drinking.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know.
No, I think Dutch
might have been drinking the Heineken. Certainly when he went out to eat or something. It's good.
Yeah, I like Heineken.
What are we drinking next week, man?
Next week we're going to do a mixed drink. This is our first mixed drink, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to high school. We're gonna do a screwdriver, a little vodka and orange juice.
Some screwdrivers. Mm-hmm. All right. Thanksgiving.
I mean, orange. It's a Thanksgiving color, right? So,
I think that's everything, though.
Yeah,
make your guesses. Let us know.
Do all that stuff. Hey, Shane, I do have this BB gun. Can I shoot you with it? TikTok. I'd make a fuck ton of money.